So we have a different kind of video today. It's a new year and there's no better time to talk about some of the most difficult shit in life. Commitment. Let's get into it. So I figured out that many of the best things in life are derived from exactly this: commitment and consistency. And make no doubt about it, the two run hand in hand. But I guess to most of us, this isn't news and probably sounds like something written on the wall of your high school gym. And yet we know this. However, so many of us struggle with exactly those two things: bad credit, divorce, giving up on your diet and fitness routine, and sometimes leaving a job are all various forms of broken commitments. Now, these things are often good decisions, and I don't want to get into a criticism of anyone's life choices. That's not what this is. My intent here is simply to give examples that illustrate commitment is hard. Whether it's parenthood, marriage, buying a house, or taking a new job, many of the biggest decisions we'll ever make revolve around the commitments we choose. And the biggest irony is the commitments we break most often are the commitments we make to ourselves. It's our New Year's resolutions, our commitments to ourselves to eat better and exercise, to spend more time with family and work less. These are the things that fall by the wayside first. And sadly, it's the commitment that we make to others that tend to drive the inertia of our lives, especially our commitment to whatever allows us to receive a paycheck. Why is this? And that got me thinking. There was no better place to start than with looking up the definition of commitment. The first definition I came across was as expected, but it was the second definition that got me thinking: an engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action. Now, hold on to that thought. Restricts freedom of action. I continued to search, but didn't have to look much further. Merriam-Webster seemed like a good place to do further research on the definition of commitment. And the first definition I found there: an agreement or pledge to do something in the future. Immediately, it became clearer to me why commitment often proves such a challenge. When I put the last two definitions together, I get an obligation that restricts freedom of action in the future. It's this part about future that gets us. We can't know how we're going to feel a year from now or 2 years from now, much less even a day from now. We can't know what curveballs life is going to throw our way. And I think perhaps when we think of commitment, I think we often think about it wrong from the start. And don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying anyone should stay in a bad situation, whether it's a job or relationship or whatever. We should allow ourselves the room to acknowledge our mistakes, forgive, and make change when needed. But that's not what this video is about. But it is about having a more discerning awareness of our need for growth and evolution, and having room for them even within the scope of the commitments we choose. This applies especially when it comes to deciding which things are worthy of our commitments. And it's particularly revealing about why our commitments to our jobs and careers take precedent in so many of our lives. You work hard for 2 weeks, at the end of which you get a check that becomes synonymous with survival. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all need our scratch, I get it. But it's the commitment to ourselves that often suffers. It's harder to be consistent when the result is not based around money or feels more intangible. That new workout and diet routine, hanging out with the kids more, are things where the rewards are not so obvious, and we can reap the benefits more slowly over time. It feels like committing to the unknown, but I can think of another word for it: faith. And perhaps that's what we need more of. So, having said all of this, one of the things that I'm going to commit to in the new year is I'm going to commit to showing up on this channel, Fitness and Beer, more regularly. I haven't quite decided what the interval will be, whether or not it'll be a video every week or every 2 weeks, but my commitment is to be here more often. So thanks so much for taking the time. Much appreciated. Fitness and Beer.